Hey folks, this is Alfred again, more Clockwork Empires. So this is episode 2 of my version 37 playthrough. A thing that happened at the end of at the end of episode 1, I saved the game. Between the end of episode 1 and recording this one, a hotfix was published to the experimental branch, which is what I'm playing, moving it up to 37b from 37a. And a side effect of that was that previous saves no longer work. So what we're seeing here is a fresh start, basically, on the same map or the same biome. I've built up to approximately the same place we were last time, which wasn't very far. There's a kitchen, there's a carpentry, and on the left there you can see a lower class bunkhouse under construction. So that's that. There have been 37B had a bunch of little bug fixes. There's supposed to be less people getting stuck in module blueprints and people getting stuck in objects. One specific thing 37B fixed was there's been a persistent bug with the textile mill, which turns your flax into cloth, in that the spinning jenny was, or the spinning mule, it was not working properly. So it's been temporarily removed from the game, but you can still make cloth with the workbench that you can build in there. Yeah, so anyway, back to the game. Again, I'm just gonna, from this point forward, I'm just gonna play, essentially. And maybe I'll point out new or interesting things as we stumble upon them. I've got a whole bunch of jobs queued up. You can see I only have 2 idle crews out of my 7. So I don't think I'll be queuing up any more jobs. We can observe still there's a little bit of slowdown when you open up the work crew menu on a game in progress. I don't think I need to reassign any of the workers. All these crews look fairly evenly distributed. Burial duties? Who died? I guess I have to build a cemetery. Right, let's get that cemetery plotted out. That may not have been the wisest place to put a cemetery now that I think about it, because that seems like it would be in the direction of the expansion of my colony. I guess I'll have to expand in a different direction. No worries. So I'm just waiting on this bunkhouse to get built. I didn't leave enough space in my carpentry and kitchen to jam in random cots like I sometimes do. So the third building I built was this bunkhouse. So I'd have a place to put beds. We've got a good amount of stone nearby, which is very helpful. And also there's a clay node up here, which again is also very helpful. Trees, wood is reasonably plentiful, even if it's less plentiful here in the jungle. But clay and stone will help you build modules and buildings, actually. So your colony might have a little bit of trouble if it doesn't start near some very basic resources. You might have to do some exploring. I'm completely out of timber, huh? And I'm rapidly deforesting the area around me. Ooh, this is not good. I don't want my guys wandering out too far to get wood, because this is the jungle biome and there are fishmen in the dark. But as they say, as needs must. Let me, actually, well, despite my colony being a bit overloaded, I think I need to start, yeah, I'll put it over here. I'm going to start up the bamboo plantation, just so I can supplement my available timber. So, oh, that reminds me. I was just looking at the Fishman Club in my food stockpile, which contains only these 2 items. Yeah, the Coral Club. It's a weapon that's been dropped by an invading fishman. And down here we have the Spine Gun, also dropped by another deceased fishman. Colonists will no longer haul fishman weapons. That was a change in version 37. And soldiers will no longer use fishman weapons. I assume that was for balance purposes, but also it seems kind of thematically inappropriate for, fine soldiers of the Empire to be using the disgusting weapons of the enemy, right? So your stockpiles will no longer fill up with spine guns, which was actually surprisingly a problem in previous versions. Because sticking stuff in stockpiles actually consumes space. Pardon me. And of course, your soldiers will they look funny carrying around these purple guns, right? So that's that. See, I got a criminal to the colony. Again, I said I'd take any number of criminals, and this time they sent 1. It's actually a random number between 1 and 3. Another little thing that the update up to version 37b fixed was the long-standing things stuck on colonist hands bug. It was a minor thing. It was just a little graphical, like occasionally colonists would just walk around. If you played your game long enough, the graphics would bug, and colonists would start walking around with logs in their hands or stone blocks in their hands, even though they were doing other things. So it looked like they got their hands stuck in something. So that bug has been fixed. A little bit of polish there. I see we shot down a giant beetle. Oh yes, let me talk a moment about beetles after I investigate this. 3 fishmen incoming. Shouldn't be a problem for my 3 soldiers. They'll be okay. So, beetles. The very first beetle we saw was the giant beetle. We have a giant beetle corpse up here. It's a little bit dark. That used to appear only in the jungle biome. Actually, I believe it still only appears in the jungle biome. Then, as the game got more and more content added to it, we started seeing other varieties of beetle. Now we have a total of 4. So we've got the giant beetle, which is this beetle the size of like a horse. We've got the beetle, which is a black beetle about the size of a poodle. We've got the iridescent beetle, which is sort of a shiny green beetle about the size of a hamster. And then there's what is the 4th one? I believe it's called the tiny beetle, which is odd because it's actually the same size as the iridescent beetle. So it's colored like the regular beetle, but it's the size of the iridescent beetle. So we have 4 different types of beetles, and they appear in the game in slightly different circumstances. The giant beetle wanders around like any other any other animal, as do the iridescent beetles. However, the tiny beetle, as far as I've observed, only appears when you have a random event at the mine. So one of the buildings you can build is a mine and a mine shaft, and you send colonists in there to dig up stuff from the earth, and they pull up random resources. But a random event that can be triggered as you're mining is that your miners can disturb an underground beetle nest. And when that event randomly occurs, tiny beetles will swarm out of the mine and like run over your colony, probably doing significant damage to your crops. And that is to say the food in your stockpile and probably also your plantations. So that's pretty cool, I think. The game's last couple of revisions have seen a lot of the addition of a lot of events. So we've in episode 1 we saw bandit arrivals are now an event that allows you to set policy on how you intend to deal with bandits which have repercussions that appear as other events. Oh, what are these colonists running from? Oh, a fishman with an urchin grenade. Yeah, I guess I would run too. Why are my soldiers running the other direction? Well, okay, so they've got the message. They're defending the colony. Yes, events. Also in the previous episode, I believe we saw the Ominous Dreams event, which at present, as far as I played this game, is just a notification that some colonist has had an ominous dream. I'm betting once I've successfully built the facilities and then manufactured some laudanum or sulfur tonic, that event will allow me to use those. That's just speculation on my part. I haven't seen it yet. I think that's what's planned. Other events? There are the it's jungle fowl. Other events include the black market supply drop, the one you may have seen in previous playthroughs, where one of your colonists offers you things that fell off a zeppelin, you know, no questions asked. And you can take a random selection of stuff for a prestige penalty, or decline it, of course. There are other events like mysterious artifacts. There's a new thing to be researched, Lord Palmerston's Science Crate. Yeah, and other fun stuff. The point being, random events add sort of narrative spice to the story of your colony. And they present you an interesting choice because most of the time you're presented, put down those coconuts. There's a fishman stabbing you. Oh. He's hitting you with his pistol. Well. Oh well. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, so narrative events, they're random events. And yeah, they add little twists and turns to the developing story of your colony. Which is cool. That's all new stuff, right? Last couple of revisions. I've got a surprising number of landmines. You get landmines this early in the game. You only get landmines from as a random drop in the initial supply drop. So I'm kind of surprised to have 3. Because often you get 0 or 1. Let's put a landmine. I think all the fishmen are coming from this direction. I'm gonna tell my soldiers to put a landmine here. Oh, what the? My bamboo! I need that for wood. And to put a landmine here as well. Another little thing that was updated for 37B was that gabions, constructing, wait a second. I think I need more workers. 3 of anyone. Miner, metal worker, force, okay. So, I'm just going to double check the work crew tab to see that people are assigned sensibly. Looks like these 3 did not get assigned. Just going to spread you out as evenly as possible. There we go. So, I guess I could have distributed workers unevenly, right? Like I could have put 7 guys in the crew that's assigned to the kitchen and 2 guys assigned to the fields or whatever. I like to leave them even because I like to leave open the possibility that any crew could be could supplement any task. Like clearly only one crew can be assigned to a given workshop at a time. But crews that are idle will do the spontaneous jobs. So things that appear in the job menu without you... Stop interrupting me, game. What do I need? Oh, I definitely need food. Oh, it dropped right on my soldier's head. Yes. So workers in a work crew, even if they've been assigned to a specific workshop, if their workshop task is done or for whatever reason they're idle, and this holds true of any colonist, so colonists who are not otherwise doing something will do the spontaneous jobs that pop up around town. So like farming, right? See this farm, tend crops job here? That's not something I set. Like I set up the farm and I dictate what's going to grow there, but I don't actually assign workers to it. It's just someone who is free will do the farm job when it pops up. And it doesn't pop up all the time. Oh, Fishman just stepped on a landmine. Why is there a landmine out here? Yes. Other spontaneous jobs include hauling, and things like corpse dumping and burial. So given that any crew could conceivably be doing any job excepting specific workshop jobs, I like to make them even. This is the Ominous Dreams event I mentioned just earlier. So Enola Cord has had an Ominous Dream, but you know, the usual stuff. Black Pyramid, From the Stars. Old news. Still waiting on this bunkhouse. Am I out of stone or something? Good thing I've got a quarry right here. Yep, so the colony is, well, it's established. It's developing a little bit more slowly than I'd like. Again, I'm not using the standing order button the way I usually do because it seems a little bit bugged this revision. So I'm just going to keep queuing up single shot jobs. Also, something weird is, I don't know what's going on with this stockpile. It's like nobody's putting anything in here even though every other stockpile is full. This stockpile, the filter I set was so that it was only supposed to accept food and drink. But I think we've run out of food and drink. Which, actually, that's a good excuse to build a farm now that I think about it. Let's make it corn. Right, so that's more colony life. In the interest of keeping this one short, I'm going to wrap this one up here. But thanks very much for tuning in. This was episode 2. We're up to version 37B of Clockwork Empires. My name's Alfred. I tend to do these playthroughs approximately once a month when a new major revision hits the stable branch. This game is being developed by Gaslamp Games. It's currently in early access, which is why there are all these version changes and tweaks and things. It's available through Steam and also through Gaslamp Games' own site. Yeah, I hope this has been informative. Great, have a nice one.